This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doc, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations.
So we're gathered today to celebrate the life and times of our Lord Caldor Draco. Take it from us before his time. We knew so little of him. The man that put fifth edition on his back,
He
the
did.
hero
He
we
really
didn't
did.
deserve.
So I want this to be a celebration of his achievements in his life. No.
Mhm.
Warp dust.
Warp Dust,
Sniffing warp dust for
the
those who
Doomslayer
don't.
himself.
He was the most prolific wa- warp dust sniffer possibly in the history of the Imperium.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so
Carved his
epic.
name in Mortarian's heart.
I got the action figure of him. I
I
don't have the
do.
miniature. I
I
got the
have the
action
action
figure.
figure. I have the action figure. I have everything. It's the only proof we know that he existed.
It always exists in my heart.
I kind of hope here's how broken I am at this point, right? Is that a friend of ours sent a friend of the show, friend of ours, right? In a kind of get your shine box kind of way.
Sure.
he he sent me a sneak peek of the Grey Knight Codex and showed me that, and I was like, "Oh, you're just effing with me." There's another page that has Drago's and Stern's stats. That's how broken I am. No, no, no. I fell down the stairs. No, no, no. It was my fault. I
Yeah.
I shouldn't have antagonized him. He wouldn't have hit me if I hadn't antagonized him. He wouldn't have hit me if I had cooked dinner right.
Hmm.
That's the stage I'm at right now. I'm an abused spouse.
I don't think you did anything wrong, Haspel.
I
Oh
mean, I don't
man.
know. He's got some points.
I don't know.
Fuck it.
I'm
Well,
It doesn't. Hey, look, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like it's.
nothing about 10th edition. If you had told us 2 years ago that it was going to go like this, we'd be like, no way. Not a lick.
You said
Not
something
not
earlier. You said there's
not
too many
happening.
choices out there now to be making these kind of decisions.
Like
Like I don't
I
care what I don't care what decision making process
dude.
was.
Walter Walter goes, they might put him in a white
Yeah,
dwarf.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, really? Like dude,
exactly.
that's so savage. It's so brutal.
Like I mean,
Uh,
they might have him coming out in some other box release. We've seen that before. But even if that's the decision, like and they're like, oh, we're gonna make so much money on this. You might not make that much money on that because we are not spoiled for choices right now. Not only in game
right.
system, but in
mm-mm.
model opportunities. Like there's 1,000 people out there
Mhm.
with 1,000 3D printers with 1,000 STLs of Caldor Drago, bro. Like everyone's just gonna have one that the second you bring his data shape back and not buy him. Like you know what I mean? Like
Like
it's
and I see that some people are like, oh, Cal Rodrigo is an OP Mary Sue and blah blah blah. I mean, literally, I just said that he like carved his name into Mortarian's heart, right? But it's like you have to understand a bunch of the lore surrounding especially the Grey Knights, right? But everybody in 40K
it's a Mary Sue.
is not real, right? You're listening to 300. You're listening to the guy who's telling the Spartans on the eve of the Battle of Plataea what happened at Thermopylae. You're not listening to history. You're not listening to the truth. You're listening to a guy who is at the end of the bar going, "Oh, you've never heard about the Grey Knights? Let me tell you about the Grey Knights," right? And he's making crap up to sound epic. And he's probably been hired by the Imperium to do so, right? That's what
It's
you're
funny that you
reading in
say
the
that,
lore.
Mike, because the way I interpreted all codexes in third edition when I started a hobby, and even kind of the graphic design of them and kind of lore excerpts, I was interpreting as all Imperial propaganda. Like I was
Yeah, it
absolutely
is.
reading these codexes like that. Like that was the narrative that
Yeah, it's not
I
the truth.
yeah
It's not the truth. It's hype. It's
yeah.
all
It's like straight
propaganda.
hype. Like that's
And so when
that's how I used to tell people about 40K back in third and fourth edition. Like that's how I used to like explain what codexes were. Like exactly what you just said.
yeah, it's all just hype. It's all BS, right? So it's just like But it hurts when to give you an idea, like, yeah, he's an OP Mary Sue, but to give you an idea, when we were doing our crusade, Grey Knights very much depend on characters to like make things come together, right? And there's people that'll disagree with me, but it's like when we were playing our crusade, we weren't allowed to take any characters at all because at 1,000 points, I start with Caldor Drago, and you have a problem if you're against me, right? That's he's like 200 something points, some odd points, and he is a problem that you have to deal with. I don't even have to use him. I just have to put him on the table. And it's like you have to deal with that idiot now, right? And it's just like he is a problem. But it's just like to get rid of that model, and I understand them getting rid of the model, frankly. Because they want to they want to scale them up, right? They want to change different things. But it's like literally the only model we have that's modern is Crow. That's it.
Hmm.
And this is like right after the kick to the nuts of, hey, here's your new model. It's a weapon sprue for a model that most people already hate.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I don't know.
Well, there's plenty of other opportunities out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the preamble, right? So we'll talk more on that
Mhm.
later in the show. We have a robust news segment. We're gonna circle back to like more opinions about, and maybe even speculations about like what these decision making like fiascos are all about. Like it doesn't make any fucking, it doesn't make sense. It's a classic GW baffling, like bafflement. Like is we've been saying that for like 10 years. Like it's baffling, unknowable. Like some of the decisions. Um, but Rob, you said I'm as always I go into this not knowing anything. And you're talking about some hype previews,
Oh
and
yeah,
I did see
we got
some
some
hype.
stuff.
I have no idea. Walk me through it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some news real quick. I got quite a bit actually, so we'll save the previews for its own segment, maybe. I do want to go over the Grey Knight box, the Santic, who's a what's it, the one that the Dread Knight comes in, that Haspel was just talking about. So it's paywalled inside of that box. It looks like it's got about $80 of value, assuming that it's gonna go for about the
$30 value if you check my eBay.
it's going to go for about the same as the regular Dread Knight, but we don't quite know for sure. Maybe they'll update it a little bit. Not really sure. On the whole, like finances side and things like that, their year report comes out on Friday. They always put stuff out on Friday. Because it's easy to shuffle into the weekend if it isn't the stuff that they want people to really see, but they need to say something. Speaking of which, they put out the Ukraine statement on their publishing partner there that they're something about not renewing a contract or just dropping
what
them.
it was, from what I understand, is they didn't renew the contract to the people that translated localized
to Ukrainian
codices and stuff to Ukrainian.
Right. Which
there could be a billion reasons for that.
Yeah, and honestly, our guess is money. Like either they're getting somebody else to do it, they're doing it themselves, or they didn't sell enough in that to keep printing in that localized language. Now they said that they're looking for another publisher. We'll know if that's true. If they do get another one, if not, then it was bullshit and it was about money. I mean, that's you got to follow the money trail. Everything's about the money trail. So as far as that goes, sad to see because it sounded like those folks were very passionate, and their statement had a lot better optics than Games Workshop for sure. So that was a little wild to look at. There is let's see what else we got. Oh, so kind of along the lines of talking about the preview later, I did want to talk about all the rumor engines that were out there. There was a ton of rumor engines up until the big summer preview. And now there's actually more solved rumor engines than unsolved ones at this point. And so they tied up a lot of loose ends. There's still a couple ones that are pending for like 2022 that we may never see. But it's kind of good to see a lot of that stuff. And as you said, they've been sitting on stuff for a while because two of them are from not this Christmas, but the Christmas before, and we still got stuff from 2022. So they definitely plan stuff ahead, which is kind of mind-boggling to see the moves they make. And I want to talk about a little bit about that later. But kind of stick more to the news right now and the new products and stuff. So there was a rumored Kill Team starter set that they call it like the beginner set that looks to be coming out in big box stores. There's a product up right now on Barnes and Noble. It's $50. And it comes with 8 of the Space Marine hero models, including the captain and including the sorcerer that everybody wanted from the Death Guard. Remember, these were all $8 miniatures in blind boxes previously, went for a lot because you couldn't get them. But now they're also they put them in that Space Marine or the Kill Team starter box for 112. So now it's going to come with a pretty good price tag of $50 and be at these big box stores, along with the now confirmed Dawn of War board game, which comes with the Indomitus upgrade sprue. That thing goes for $146. I mean, it's got a squad of eradicators or eliminators on it. It's got the Judicator. He goes for a lot in the secondary market.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He's tough to get. Of course, the captain. I think there's Blade Guard on there. That sprue, if it goes for the price, I think it was on there for $50 as well. When it does hit, I mean, that was basically worth it right there.
Yeah. So here's a quick comment on the Barnes and Noble games, because I tend to buy them all. They are not tied, in my opinion. This could have changed. They're not tied to the tabletop game that we play. They're all standalone games.
They're like, or watered down versions.
Yeah, they're all watered down or standalone versions. I mean, I have one of the ones that I love playing, and they came out with a version, I think it was last year, but it was Labyrinth of the Necrons, right? Where they gave you a bunch of the Space Marine guys, and they were the Space Marine hero miniatures. But like all the Necrons in there were little pogs, right? They weren't actual Necron miniatures, they were pogs. Last year they came out with a version of that was essentially Space Hulk. It was like Gene Stealers and whatever. It was a fun solo game. Now its target market is like 8-year-olds. This is the game for you're a dad, you want to play 40K with your son, but your son's like 6. Doesn't grasp the full game, but wants to move stuff around, roll dice. That's the game for you. That's what these Barnes and Noble games are for. But they're super fun to play solo. Like they run solo like a lot. They're really cool. And like Rob said, they're $50. They're not expensive.
And with a 6 sprue in it, this one.
Yeah, that's
$146 sprue.
You just mine them for models, man.
Holy shit! Yeah, that sprue is outrageous.
Totally, yeah.
And
totally
that Malefic Plague Caster or whatever.
Yeah,
that guy's
going for.
Yo, he's like the Lord of Contagion. That dude's like ungettable now. He's like.
Yup. Definitely worth a pickup when those hit. So keep an eye out for that one. On the hobby side of things, Monument launched the Gentastic Brush Cleaner Brush Group 2.0. It's still the same size, 2 ounces, but looks like it might be like a new formula or a new. I don't think it's necessarily a new formula. It's definitely a new container. That stuff's great. I know we've all probably been using it for years, but if you haven't tried it yet, now's a great time. It's got a cool new look. Definitely think about picking that up. And if you have like some really bad brushes, I put out a tutorial years ago on how to clean your brushes. There's a Winsor Newton like deep clean that's great for getting them back to the point to condition them with and daily maintain them with the Gentastics. That I think is definitely worth checking out, because I was able to restore brushes that I thought were terrible from like 10 years prior, which is wild.
Yeah.
Really happy with both of those products. So it's cool to see them getting a little bit of a revamp. Games Workshop also announced their exclusive for this celebration, i.e. this is not collectible. It will be available again. They've already said that their miniatures are not collectible. The Captain Centos will be available initially exclusively for the celebration at Games Workshop stores on August 9th. He'll probably be about $40 if I had to guess, while supplies last. And there is a coin you can also get for if you spend 60 pounds, obviously localized in your currency, and a pin as well. So
Oh, you
that's kind of cool.
just reminded me that brush soap thing. So I just came back from my Cincinnati trip.
Uh-huh.
Was down in Ohio with the Bolters of Dawn crew,
Right.
doing a IRL paint. I used some of that soap to fix a guy's old ass brush because I showed him how to use brush soap there, among other things. We do the whole 101 course, but it just reminded me to shout out those guys because again, upon visiting, I was reminded of what a unique environment they have. Like as far as game clubs go, I've never seen anything like it. Never seen something so stable. You know, where they have a physical location, very cool, and above like it's the exterior like warehouse above a brewery that has food, drinks, backdoor access to it, bands, pro wrestling, and they have a full game space maintained by 88 members.
Wow.
And they have like a fob,
super dope.
a fob system. Then you walk in a lot. And he told me, I was like, me and Rob talked about this for 10 years ago.
That sounds tight as hell,
bro. It's bro, Mike. I've never seen anything like it. And this is the second time I've been back, and even Matt came up.
Like the only thing you're withholding to get me to move to
Yeah.
Cincinnati is an arcade.
Dude, that's like literally how I feel about it. Where I'm like, every time I visit now, I'm like, man, I want to live here because Cincinnati's already really nice. They're like West Cincinnati. It's like so you're not like right in the city. It's really nice, like suburb. The game club is so well kept. Everyone gets a mug for joining, and they have them hanging on walls and shit, like fucking beer mugs, beer steins. Like,
oh my god,
dude, it's like, and they're all chill. They run their own event every year, BolterCon, at right down the street, about 100 players. It's been growing. It's just like mostly them. I mean, bro, and I was like, bro, we talked about this so many years ago, like how you have to like start this business model. But even then, people fail because they take a bunch of capital out, they get a bunch of loans, and then you're like, I need 32 members to start breaking even. He's like, it took us like 3 years to get 32 members, dude. He's like, this is all about rolling up your sleeves and volunteering and helping out. Like he's like, that's how you build this.
You need not just 32 members. You need 32 people who are invested
Engaged
in the community.
Yeah. And it's what
which
they
is
have.
hard to find.
They have like 3D printers, like going 24 hours a day in there, like filament printers, printing terrain for BolterCon. And so everyone who's in there, it's like if you're in there, like and it beeps, you know that you have to pull out, put in, like it's a team effort because they're printing new terrain.
That sounds like a solid community,
dude.
man.
It's again. I just want to reiterate how fantastic the Bolters at Dawn crew is. BolterCon.com for their big event they do every November. I really want to go this year. Like I tried to get a big group together last year. Arthur and Matt both went. Me and Wyatt couldn't because it was like 3 days after Cali Cup and like things happened. But like I really want to go this year, dude. It's like unlike anything. I've never seen a game club this well done. So I just wanted to shout them out. Again, Bolters at Dawn, BolterCon.com. They have almost no social media presence. If you're in Cincinnati or anywhere in Ohio and you're just hearing about this, you should, find them on Discord. Continue, Rob.
I'm sold. No, it looked like fun. I was watching your videos. All right, so we talked about the Captain Centos. I can't read that note. Can't read that note. Oh, GW lawsuit. Oh, I can talk about that one. So yesterday, Games Workshop put in their papers to officially say how much they wanted in damages from the now 164 sellers on their global list. It didn't look like anywhere in the U.S., but this legal action was taken in Florida. Majority of folks are in UK, China, and I forget the third country, but yes, that's the legal system for you. They are after up to, now they can ask for $2 million from each of these defendants, defaulted defendants, because they did not try to dispute this fact. They in fact are only asking for a mere $60,000, or the profits if they are less than 20,000, y'all. So that's like $10.8 million that I don't know if they'll ever see any of that money, because half these folks have probably like vanished. Like I said, the majority are China, so good luck with that.
Mhm.
But I think what they're trying to do is scare people. And now this doesn't count all the money they've already collected, because remember, originally it was 280. So
280 plaintiffs or whatever.
yes, so about they've dismissed with prejudice 120 sellers or so. My math's slightly off, um, but not for free. I've spoken with a lot of these folks, even though they have gag orders. Uh, most of them had to pay some money, and not 20 grand and not 60 grand, but they still had to pay some money. So Games Workshop has made money already on this from these folks. And that a lot of these, and that's just not the money that they had to spend to defend themselves either. So you remember, if they dismiss the case with prejudice against 120 people, that doesn't necessarily mean that they should have even been targeted,
Mhm.
right? So just keep that in mind. So this thing's a shit
Yeah, a lot of
show.
people were absolutely targeted through just nonsense AI legal software. Like a lot of people were just like, really? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it is crazy.
Like I had to explain, like I'm working on a big partnership with a company, a brand out of country. And he's like, well, how do we have an agreement? How does it work? And I was like, I can make a professional services agreement for you, sure. But at the end of the day, are either of us going to actually sue each other? Because do you understand how much money it would be for either of us to do that? And he's like, oh, now I understand. And I was like, yeah. So like, there's no point. Like, we're both adults here. We both seem to have similar interests. Let's just make this shit happen. Like, but I wouldn't even be talking to somebody if I didn't trust them at that point to do this thing. Um, so that's kind of where we're at. Like, now it may be coincidentally that eBay recently stopped penalizing sellers for their Vero. Like, like if somebody opens up a dispute on eBay, they ding your account. And if you get so many dings, you're out of there, right? And it may be because of the quantity of these AI enforcements or takedowns or what have you, because we've already shown where they use AI like 2 years ago. Like I did all the research on it, showed it, published it. It's all out there. You can find it. It's right around the same time that GW pivoted to this other thing where they were going after people using lawyers, and now the thing with Ukraine, and now the thing with their laying off folks. Um, I think a lot's going on behind the scenes, and I think it's definitely indicative of a bigger systemic problem. Because we always joke like, hey, they keep making money somehow, just like Palpatine returning. Games Workshop keeps making money, and that's great for the investors and everything. But when you have a CEO that's so much of a pussy that he won't even let people take pictures of him, because he claims it's about the company and doing the right thing, and that's great and all, and he seems to be a very talented man, but like, dog, the length Roundtree has gone to keep his digital footprint like minimized,
Is
there's
it is
obviously
in itself suspicious?
right. Like
Mm.
I am suspicious just because of that. And I
Yeah.
have exhausted all my resources to try to find this man. It doesn't exist unless you go back to the 90s and you can dig up some pictures from like the firms he was at before Games Workshop, which I haven't done yet. But
But I thought James Workshop was the CEO.
you're right. You're not wrong. Um, so that's
I mean,
kind of interesting.
I've seen him. He does commercials.
There's YouTube's.
He does the tubes. He does it.
I seen
Um,
it.
so it's just really it's just really weird out there. All right, let's talk about some more products that may or may not be dope. So we talked about something that's also worth mentioning is Magic put out their preliminary numbers,
Mm,
and they are up 23% off the backs
good
of
lord.
the big Final Fantasy release for Magic the Gathering. Now, Final Fantasy didn't do as much for me as it did for a lot of other folks, I'm sure.
You're too
But
old. Too old to begin the training.
Nice.
nope,
That
too old.
seriously, that's why. Like
But
that's why we didn't get on the Final Fantasy train. We're Gen X, man.
no, I played 7.
You
I
played
played
it, but you played 7.
I played 10. I played first couple of ones on Nintendo.
It
They were
didn't
hard.
hit though, right? You were in a different phase in your life. Like you
Yeah,
had to be
it's
like, yeah, you had to be like
it's
middle
like we missed the
school.
train. We still played it, but
Yeah,
it wasn't like our shit. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It was like the greatest thing in the world when it hit for anyone who had a PlayStation 1, like Final Fantasy 7. Like, and
Oh
you had
yeah,
to have
for
been at a
sure.
certain age. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
just
I feel like I'm slightly like my neighbor. He's like 2 years younger than me, right?
uh
And it is shit, and like I just couldn't get into it. Like
Mhm.
even though I understood everyone around me on my
I
block.
used to run for my roommate at the time. When he would go on alert, I would run. I would just race his chocobos, so that he could get the golden chocobo. That's taking me back a while. That's a long time ago.
the gold chocobos.
Off topic though, Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
way off topic.
didn't
Yeah,
resonate with you.
But I'm surprised that 23% is a lot.
yeah, that's pretty huge. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what Games Workshop numbers are because remember, I mean, for the last half of the year, we haven't been able to get shit, and then for basically there was no releases. I mean, September they put out Blood Angels. There was some Battle Forces,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like there hasn't been a whole lot. Like, so it's going to be really interesting to kind of see what numbers they can pencil whip up and
Mm-hmm.
try to throw on people. And also, it's going to be very interesting to see if they took out the $10 million that they paid in bond to issue this lawsuit in the first place. Even though they're going to get paid out, they're not going to get paid out this in on the
Mm-hmm.
same set of books. So I'm really interested to see if they have that in there too. I don't know. It's all very sus, to be quite honest with you. And I don't get seeing what we see constantly and seeing the fallout from the silly moves they're making. I think that that they are still making money. It's like, where is the money coming from? Are there that? And I think there are. I think there's that many new people coming into the hobby space that don't know any better. Um, one of the local groups, the guy was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a Forge Fiend," and I'm like, "Bro, good luck."
Yeah.
Like they ain't even on eBay, dog. Like, and he's like, "Well, what do I do?" I was like, "Find a cool one to use." And he's like, "You mean like a 3D print?" I was like, "Whatever, man. Like, convert your own. Have fun with it." And he's like, "Oh,
Mm.
I gotta have a GW one." I was like, "But do you? You gotta
Yes, you
do it."
do. And you want to like check my eBay specifically. I'll
Yeah.
give
Yeah,
you a deal.
there you
I
go.
don't have that particular model, but I have a lot of stuff I'm unloading. So
Send me your. Oh, I know what it is. I've actually been to your eBay. I already know what it is. I'm gonna go look. Anyways, yeah, double check all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff out of stock right now still. Last thing I wanted to talk about was, well, we'll do a whole section on the previews here in a minute. I think we talked about the Ukraine drama already. I think that's it. I can't read half of my writing. Oh, well, the meta. So the meta's in a weird spot too right now, and I think a lot of people are perplexed. Like, one, why Death Guard didn't get any points adjustments. The whole Knights thing seems to be a little interesting right now too, because they're getting the bonus wounds really helped. The toughness thing doesn't really seem to matter, you know, and getting the bonus wounds and the points drop, it seems like it really should have just been one or the other, I think is kind of what folks are saying. Like they were already doing well. So the combination of Death Guard not having not having any points adjustments and still just being wide open, and you can pretty much predict what goes in each cookie cutter army for them because oh, you drop the shrouds in the back, and you just shamble up with all the poxwalkers, which incidentally are $50 for 10 right now because they're meta. So and they're also very hard to find. So I think the meta right now is in a weird place as well. I guess we'll have to see if the Templars and the Grey Knights, break up the monotony a little bit. But
Spoiler, no.
um, but I played Knights since well, pretty much this whole edition, and it almost seems like they've had 4 codex books in the time, and they don't even have 1 codex book yet. With all the points or all the rules adjustments and things. So it's pretty wild. I enjoy playing Knights, but I'm not going to play 3 Atropos or 3 Lancers or 1 Atropos and 2 Lancers. Like, I'm going to be like, oh, cool, I can take a Crusader and like give some bondsman abilities to my armigers, and oh, well, I'm still going to take Canis. Don't get me wrong, because Canis is dope, but I just feel like just have some fun with it, like, and there are some sisters allies you can take to get over that neg 1 hump, um, which I feel like isn't too gamey because everything's in cover all the time, even the knights. So it's just like that's just part of the game right now. So I don't know. I think the meta will definitely shift again as we roll into. Is there any big? I guess the next big event's LVO, right? Like, because there isn't a there is. Is
There's
there another
LVO in
US Open?
October. There's Challenger Cup in September. So
Yes.
and that's 8-man teams. So there'll be a lot of action there.
I guess it meant more like on singles.
I mean, it is. It's 8-man teams, singles. It's single play.
Well, yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I meant like one, like 1v1, and because there's the vacuum, right? Because you can do the matchups and things.
Fair.
I mean, it's still fun to look at and get ideas, but
WTC War Master, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
August.
I'm
Nova.
just trying to think.
Nova.
Yeah, Nova. Okay, yeah. So Nova will be big for singles too. Yeah, I guess there is some potential, and they seem to be putting out a balanced data slate like every month now. So we're about due for one of those, I imagine. I don't know. It's just a weird place. It's a very weird place to see all this stuff happening and then have the meta so freshly stagnated. It seems like. I hope they get it fixed, because I hate being the guy that rolls up to the table. All I got's Knights. Like, it's easy. It's a couple of models. I can keep up with the rules.
Oh, it's like Arthur. He loves Eldar. It's like Eldar Guard, and his Eldar collection. Every time there's a new edition, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play the new edition with my Eldar." I'm like, "Oh, what Eldar models do you have again?" And he tells me, he's like, "Oof, dude's gonna hate you." He's like, this is just the models I have, man." I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's you're public enemy number 1 right now."
Yeah.
So that's never fun too. Just rolling up and knowing that it's just this guy. I'm like, I'm not that guy, I swear.
No,
Yeah.
but that guy, he gets people like that, at least from me, get a pass because I can tell if it's your rush
pretty easy to
chasing
tell.
paint job or something that you've
True.
had for 12 years.
It's pretty easy. Yeah.
Pretty easy to tell.
It is. Rob, how you looking on news?
Yeah, I think that's the big stuff. I'm sure I forgot some, but I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I'm following.
Joy Toy helmet.
Oh yeah, so the Joy Toy. Thank you. The Joy Toy Titus helmet is $249. They are on pre-order right now.
Basically free.
Gah.
Yeah, basically free.
I didn't know the price, so that just priced me out. I'm out.
You got a $1,500 Titus stash shoot.
I did.
It looks dope, by the way.
I'm out. This
that
factors into it, dude.
Is sick, but it's not $250 sick.
Yeah.
Like 150, buying all of them.
Yeah, buy one of these.
So it's $295 with the display stand,
Gah.
or $229 by itself.
But you can wear it and the lenses turn on.
They do. We didn't really see a good
Wait,
shot
you can
of
wear
it
that
with the-
motherfucker? Hold on a second.
You can
Yeah,
wear
that's
it.
the whole point.
I'm back in the game.
You can wear the helmet.
Is it one size fits all, or is it like? Is that,
I
Probably.
mean,
Probably.
I feel well, that dude Adam Troke put it on during
Is
the
he big?
preview, and he got a noggin.
okay, that's what I
Not,
needed.
not in a bad way. Like I respect
That's
him.
what I
but he's
need.
got
I
a
need to know.
noggin.
I need to know this dude's big. Big. You know what I mean?
You know, I want the space.
He's Kenny
Wolf,
sized.
I want the Space Wolf helmet that's just the display plinth. It doesn't.
Doesn't have one.
It doesn't have one. It's just the display.
It's
plinth
just like a
that has the
fucking
space
crudely
Wolf
made fucking lanyard with a tooth hanging from it.
wolf tooth necklace. That's
All
all,
right.
Yeah.
that's all that comes on the plinth.
All right, let's get set up to do our commercial so we can catch the rest of the show.
Okay.
But first, I did want to make this the first time we talk about the luxury wargamer retreat.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah. And Mike, I think you even talked to Arthur recently about it.
I did, yes.
So, guys, this is the first time I'm talking about it. We haven't rolled out any marketing whatsoever, but there's been something being put together in the background. The website is bourbonandbolters.com, bourbonandbolters.com, and we are essentially putting on a luxury wargame retreat. And the anecdote I have is a good friend of mine who was one of the partners came to me and he's like, look, I just sent my wife on this like ridiculously dope wine retreat. Right. And I was like, oh, that sounds tight. And he's like, yeah. And she had a blast. It was amazing. He's like, it was pretty expensive, all inclusive and everything, but like it really wasn't as expensive as you think it was. Cause like it's just the price was up front, right? I was like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, but like it got me thinking, like, how come we don't have one? I was like, that's fair. I mean, then I started telling him there are some like luxury retreats and or luxury game stuff out there. There's Yacht Hammer. There's something in Utah that happens every year. I was like, there
yeah, the
is.
Valhalla.
People have kind of thought about this. And he was like, yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, but like about exactly what we like, picturing like Ron Burgundy, leather bound books and rich mahogany, totally small classroom size. And he's like, and totally like this demographic, right? Like Warhammer 40K specifically. I was like, no, it's a good idea, bro. I'd go to something like that if I had the bank. I'm not the demographic. So then we got to talking. We got Arthur in, the financial CFO of our hearts, and got everything in motion now, ready to start marketing. And it's going to be at Outer Banks, North Carolina, at this like ridiculous like mansion that we secured. Big rooms, dope. I mean, fully luxury
It's
as
very
shit.
nice.
Oh, full like booze included, food included, shuttles back to the airport, freaking dope gift bags. We have famous people coming. We got Goobertown Hobbies and eBay Miniature Rescue. They're putting on a clinic for us. Like they're gonna be like their stated goal is to film them painting a 2,000 point army there and showing you how to do it, so you can drop in and out of that conversation. Brad Chester to run our big event, our big rogue trader tournament. Mike Haspel to run our narrative, and possibly talk, as a published Black Library author. Kind of cool to also be able to talk to him about that. And we have another negotiation occurring that I can't talk about yet. That's on the horizon. Of course, I'll be there teaching airbrushing. I always forget to bring that part up. Big price tags. Not gonna lie, it's like $3,000 to $4,000, but that's
Everything's included.
a week
Yeah.
at this place, and we're only getting it's capping at 24 attendees. That's small classroom size. That's what we're talking about.
I think you can pick out your suite too, because I went to the website.
And the
it's
drop
like-
down menus. Part of purchasing your ticket is picking one of the suites that you can see all the pictures of at the Black Stallion and the Outer Banks. And we're trying to make this the most like cool, chill, small classroom size event. We're never trying to make people play two games a day. So like you're playing like 2 Crusade games in the day. We have a Nighthawk daily single elimination Rogue Trader. And then as we move into the weekend, we finally have the Rogue Trader. So it's like 2 games, maybe a third at night, and a billion minutes to jump in and out of like seminars and painting classes and just slam drinks back and smoke pipes on the balcony. So like that's where we're at. And this is year 1. We're trying to, it's an early bird right now, early bird until August. So this is the first time.
Imagine going to like Sandals, and instead of just hanging out, you get to play war games all the time, and do hobby activities. That's the goal. Like it's all inclusive.
Yep. No, that's the thing. It's like it's so. Like Kara Quinn said something good. Bring that up. Bring that up to Arthur. Kara Quinn. That's not a bad idea.
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
the payment plan thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he talked about something like that too. But it's the price isn't the problem, like you said. It's just like tied up all at once. Like I get it. So like that's why the early bird. So yeah, bring that's actually a good thing to bring up to him. And
Mm-hmm.
here's our worst case scenario: is like business is like starting this business. If we put it out in front of millions of people through our marketing, and we don't get the prerequisite amount of attendees we need to pay for the event, then we just all bought ourselves a baller ass vacation. that's our worst case. We bought ourselves a baller ass vacation with 4 new friends. You know what I mean? Like, so the risk is not as bad. It's not that bad, but we are very passionate about it. We believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more about this in the coming days, in coming weeks. And now let's jump into our commercial break, and then let's cut right back into the meat and potatoes. What we want to talk about these previews, and I want to close out on Mike's epitaph of
my fire
of
has gone
Drago.
down.
So Rob,
My fire
Oh.
has dwindled.
it's okay. I mean, you gave us some fire early on, so maybe you're ready for just a regular talk. We'll see where you're at.
Yeah.
Rob, what's
All
the
right,
hype?
let's break down the old previews, which I think personally were pretty dope. We hadn't seen a whole lot like that in a while, so it was really cool to get a whole bunch at once, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. You know, it was like 90 minutes, and they got through everything. And kicked it back a couple times for questions. So it was a nice little show to watch, and I think they showed off a lot of cool stuff. So the first off, the Leagues of Votann are finally getting new models. They're getting Combat Patrol, a new Codex. They're getting the Earth Shakers, which are the OG Mole Mortars, a new character. What else are they getting? All sorts of stuff. But either way, I think it all looks dope. Oh, a couple of new little skimmer things too. Double kit there. Space Marines getting 5 new combat patrols, 5 new characters as well. Which is weird because like in the span of like 2 weeks, they basically announced 8 new combat patrols, which is really weird. So maybe this is just like a yearly thing with them doing combat patrols. Now some of them, obviously there's been some opinions online about the value. Like some people are like, is this Iron Hands one a joke? Because it has the Thunderfire, or not the Thunderfire cannon, shit, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, but the cannon thing and the emplacement, and people are like, this one sucks. And I don't know. I feel like they're all good just from the premise of, hey, if there's generic Marines in here, it's just a good way to bundle up and get some of the stuff on the cheap. Because a lot of people have been coming through and leaving comments on the site and the videos and things, saying stuff like, Haspel said a lot the same way, and you're like, oh, it's too much for me to keep up with it. It's not for me anymore and stuff. And I think in a lot of cases, maybe not, this isn't a blanket statement, but I think some people just didn't Warhammer smart, if you know what I mean. Like everybody's like, oh, I just want the new dope hotness every week. But I was interviewed by the North America manager at the time, which is basically like the state CEO without saying he's the CEO of Games Workshop, because obviously the home office doesn't want the states to have any real power, and they're always like overseeing everything constantly, which I could already tell just from my visit there that one time. And, even the CEO guy at the time was like, even I can't buy everything, and this was 20 some years ago, so like you just can't. You literally, if the CEO, the de facto CEO of Games Workshop says even he can't buy everything, like you can't buy everything either. So you got to pick and choose what makes you happy, and maybe mixing in third party stuff here and there where you can, or tracking it down where you can.
Or buy
Sometimes,
stuff. Yeah. Buy smart, right?
yeah,
It's like,
buy smart, not stupid. Don't fall for the FOMO. Wait the extra month, wait the extra 3 months for the stuff to come out separately. But you know, because that is what Games Workshop has pivoted their business model to. You cannot dispute that fact.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, there's some wins here, there's some fails here, but I think if you look at the 5 combat patrols, and y'all tell me what you think about this, there isn't anything specific in there to those chapters. So I think if you're like, oh dang, you know, I was really thinking about getting these models, let me just scoop up this combat patrol. I think that's a win if you look at it like that. I don't know. That's kind of how I do it. There was
No,
two
that makes sense. That makes complete sense.
right.
Because like you can get away with certain factions, you can get away with like buying 2 combat patrols, and
Mhm.
it gives you a really solid baseline for a lot cheaper than it would be to go buy the box sets to create that same force.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of cases too, like, yeah, you might get 2 things in there. Maybe you only wanted one of them, but then you have something to trade or you have something to kind of sell off, maybe, depending on what you want to do with that. Um, a lot of stores have like, you know, like bazaars or whatever they call them. Even GW used to. I don't know about their corporate stores anymore. Where you could come in and like, you know, trade
Yeah,
or
they
sell your
used to have bizarre bazaars. I remember.
bazaars, yeah.
Yeah, I
And those are
remember.
great. Like
They were
you could
really
really
cool.
find some stuff, some good deals. So you know, there's definitely opportunity there. Let's see what else. Oh, so Old World got some stuff, some new Tomb King's Lich Priests, which look pretty fresh. 2 new Arcane Journals, one for Cetra, one for Grand Cathay, which was cool. Um, Pretty neat if you're in that setting, I suppose. I haven't really heard from people how the match playbook's doing. Um, but I know there was a lot of busted stuff, but the FAQ that dropped at the same time solved a lot of that. And then I think for me, some of the favorite stuff I saw was the Chaos Dwarfs, which they're calling the Hellsmiths of Hashut. So there's an army set, battle tome, the Taurus is back. They showed the centaurs, you know, like as a second wave. It almost seemed like it was a second video that they weren't going to show. So that was kind of cool. Like we know there's a decent amount to come out with this whole thing, and I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I thought they looked better than the Forge World stuff. Now I don't know. I got
Everything looks
Yeah,
better than the Fortune stuff.
the Forge World stuff at this point, and this is going to be mildly controversial, or maybe not. It's kind of old and busted.
oh, you're saying the Forge World stuff's old and busted?
Yeah, yeah. Like it's not hard to be better than the Forge World stuff now.
Maybe
I
I'd have to compare this. The
Yeah, I haven't like looked at these particular models, but it's been a while since I've been wowed by something coming out of Forge World.
well, I mean, there really isn't much coming out of Forge World anymore, except for like
Right.
character models,
Yeah.
um, with a really big price tag, and I'm just like,
And that's and different demographic, I would say. You're
yeah,
not playing with Forge World stuff anymore. The stuff that's like really cool is shelf stock. It's collectibles.
it's collectible, but it's not collectible.
Right, right. But what I mean by collectibles is that it's something you're going to build and paint and put on your shelf,
Yeah.
but you're never going to transport it to paint or to play because it'll just break.
That's a fact.
Oh yeah. I have a few of those. Um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I wish the Sigmar scene was bigger and healthier than it is. I'm just not motivated to play Sigmar right now, which is sad because, in my personal opinion, I think the Sigmar models are hand and fist better than 40k models. Like,
And the lore, they've done a lot of work. Like Phil Kelly has done exemplary work with the lore.
oh yeah, for sure. Like they
It's
didn't have
really
much at the
good.
beginning. They're like,
Um,
points don't even matter, just have fun, and that didn't last long.
no, no.
Yeah.
Quickly, we got the first General's Handbook in 2016, and then it made more sense. You're like, okay,
Bro.
so I don't know. They look cool. I can't wait to see them on the tabletop with somebody with a dope ass painted army, and I can ooh and ah over them. Speaking of Sigmar, there's new spearheads and also characters for Death Faction. And also, well, Night Haunts and Flesh Eater Courts. They're okay. They're all right. I was more excited about the Chaos War stuff. I don't know if you guys really give a f about the Sigmar stuff there.
I know some people do.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The then they showed off some more Underworlds stuff. I personally haven't seen. I don't know who's playing Underworlds. I don't give
You
a f.
know, I hate to say this, but I agree with you, Rob. Like
I haven't seen it.
I and I really believe this in my heart of hearts that Underworlds is the best game Games Workshop has ever made.
Oh, it was great. Like I was all 2018. I was all in those first four factions. I had like custom foam. The game is fundamentally dope. But like when they did the fucking tried and true GW thing where they like try to like microtransaction monetize it, I was like, no, man, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna keep buying these expansions and shit. Like, I'll just play the base game. But then like you get folks that like are just like get frustrated and they're like, I'm just out. Like, I was like, dude, we can play the base sets. Like we can play the first, set of season as they called it, and people are like already moved on to shit. And I was like, damn it, this game was dope.
It's amazing, man. It's like the last well, the penultimate LVO I went to, I
Mhm.
didn't play 40K at all. I
What'd you
played
play?
I
Shade
played
Speezy.
Underworlds the whole
Uh,
time. The whole
damn.
time.
We didn't even have
Like
another
the
expansion. It was just Shadespire.
it was just
Yeah.
Shadespire. I played that the entire time.
Dude, the Shadespire was dope. Like that first season was great.
It was really good. It was like the best. It was the best game. I remember modding. Like I made a Death Watch version of Shadespire because I was like the only thing that could make this game cooler, which is not true, is if it was 40K. Like
Mm.
that was my argument when I remember talking to the creators because they were there. And I was like, we need a 40K version just because. Like there's no actual reason for it because the game is really good by itself. But I was like, but it'd be cooler if I had a 40K skin.
Yeah. Skin it sci-fi.
I
But yeah,
agree. Man, it's very disappointing. Like it started off so well, and now I'm just like, I don't even know. Stores I pull, they're like, nah, we don't bring it in. I don't see nobody playing it. I don't see. I
no,
don't know.
our
It
scene
was great.
died. Our scene died because there were a couple people that were so competitive and they had more time than other people. So
Mm.
it's like you would show up for your Monday night game, and this guy has been spending, weeks scheming and coming up with the exact right combo, which I don't begrudge him for that, right? But he has the time. And it's like he's retired, he doesn't do anything else. And so you show up to just roll some dice and play some games and you just get rolled. And it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
think you just got to match people's like, I don't know, like I don't want to say intensity, but maybe that's the right word. Like
no,
when it
it
comes
kind of
to,
is, but it's
you got to
like
read the
that.
room.
Yeah, that kind of killed the scene.
Hmm.
It's like people stop showing up to play, and then pretty soon, instead of like having 20 people showing up, you only had 3, and then pretty soon it was done.
Yeah, and I think if people did a lot more playing with their opponents, like I took a little time today. A buddy of mine was in town. We played some Magic, and I was just like, I was getting like monster draws, and he was not. And I was just like, I was trying to hold it
Yeah,
back, but like at some point when you go like 20 turns, and like you still got nothing, I was like, yeah.
yeah.
But
I mean, it, there. I don't know if you can still get it, but there was a very good version of Shadespire on
digital,
on Steam. I
hmm
still play it. I
yeah,
still play it.
I saw it. It looked good, but me personally, Rob Baer, I don't like. I'm on the computer way too much. I don't
No, I
want.
feel you, man.
I don't want the computer for my entertainment.
I have a personal story that's totally off topic, right? So I will say that I'm involved in another hobby that involves a lot of springs,
Mm,
and
I
I
think I know
was
what you're
messing
saying.
around with springs, and one of them launched behind my desk, and I was trying to retrieve it with one of those little like kind of robot arm squeezy
Oh,
things,
the clamps, the claw.
the claw thing, right? And I had
Yeah.
to move my monitor out of the way, and my monitor broke. And here is how you know you have too big a monitor. When your monitor is so big that you can just play a game in a window using 2/3 of the monitor and it doesn't affect your gameplay at all. Your monitor is too damn big. Because I was using a flat screen television as my gaming monitor.
Tight.
And so you know how when they break, like they get all the like colors or whatever, the stripes. So
Hmm.
a third of my monitor is that. And I shrank the window so I could play. uh,
Classic.
I'm like, okay, I might have a problem.
That'll get you by for
Like,
now. For now. That's funny. All right, what else we got? Let me get back to this. There was a lot of dope stuff. Oh, and this is a little sad too. I'm just gonna throw it out here. I'm gonna be one that starts the rumor. Legion Imperialis is fucking dead, y'all. Sorry. So the new previews came out. They showcased some, I don't know, some like whirlwinds, Scorpius or whatever, the Macedon. Dude, there really isn't much left to put out. And on top of that, they're like, oh, here's your consolidated rule book. Oh, here's some formation stuff. Oh, here's some objective. When they do that, your game is dead, y'all. I'm
oh, but
sorry.
they finally put out like a full rule book and everything. Cause
Yep.
I kind of checked out when it was like, oh, I bought all this stuff and there's no rules for it. So I kind of like checked out.
Which nobody said at first, like that you literally the rule book that came in the starter was not enough to play. So
Yeah.
that and then you had to buy all these little books. But when they do that, this is exactly what they did to Titanicus. Exact order. Like
Yeah. So scoop up the rule book and then you can just play it forever
right. So like if you
in
have
the old
these,
folks' home.
yes. If you are playing Legion Imperialis, and you like that game system, pick up that book, and I'm sure there'll be a digital version available too. And that's all you're gonna need because there probably isn't much coming out now, which is sad because they haven't previewed anything since the Dark Mechanicus stuff came out, which also looked dope. But that's just how they do. You know, they take the games, they microtransaction them, they pay well the rules, they make dope models, but then you know it's the feel badsies the whole way through, and
Here's
that's
I'm going to say something controversial again. Use those models to play Warhammer 40K.
you could.
You can put two armies in a fanny pack and play 40K wherever you want.
Yep.
Just conceive of that, right? Just scale down the movement. That's it.
No, I think the models themselves are dope. Now and they're a little over engineered too. Like believe it or
Oh
not, like
yeah.
it's a lot to put some of them together. Um, but
Yeah, I was super annoyed having to assemble infantry. I was like, for real? Like, for real? I have to
yeah,
put these guys together. They're so small.
but I don't know. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but I don't think it's going nowhere now. And then for Heresy,
Oh, Wyatt's
and
in the house.
yeah,
So
why it's here.
shout out.
He was very anti LI, which I understand. And I think everybody wanted, you know, the other factions, the orcs, the Eldar, the
No,
Xenos,
they
you
shit
know.
on us. Like they made it seem like they were dropping epic, and they didn't.
Hmm.
That's the origin story of why everyone's mad.
Right.
It's not that the models aren't sick. It's not. And then the second tier, we're like, okay, fine, we're warming up to it, and then they dropped it. It's all 30K. So then the
Yeah.
second part of it was like, well, okay, so 40K, no. So it just irritated everyone. It's the game no one wanted. That's what happened.
Yeah. I think, and I think
No one
that
asked for that.
true. And just the fact that it was so much to get that 3,000 points too, like to actually like build the army, right? Um, and I think this kind of dovetails with them canceling the Heresy Thursday previews because they're like, hey, we're canceling them. And I was like, well, that's weird. They would always either talk about Heresy or Legion Imperialis. And that kind of makes sense too, because they already said, hey, we don't have that much coming out for Heresy. And I'm like, well, they could preview new, you know, Legion Imperialis. But then when I saw their previews, I was like, oh, there isn't anything else really coming out now. Sad. But there is the Mark II assault squads coming out. We know there's Breacher Shield guys coming out for Age of Darkness. They showed all that stuff. There's another journal, The Forges of Saturn. So that's cool as far as that goes. And then they also previewed the new Kill Team Tomb World box, which features the original Kill Team Deathwatch versus some new Necrons, which all the models look pretty dope. And I guess finally, Deathwatch is getting their Primaris glow up. So that was kind of cool to see. And we'll see if that translates over to 40K because technically all they have right now is an index. So I don't know. They could be doing a wave 2, and that's why they're holding off on the Custodes book because they're going to be doing a big Custodes plastic drop. But I'm a little worried about that because they haven't been crossing over as much stuff, and I think we can all agree Saturnine would be have been actual success if they had crossover to 40K, and I think they're really going to have to start looking at that sooner than later because they plan everything out so far. Because the fact that things don't have the crossover potential and that the departments either can't or won't work together is becoming a huge liability for them. And the oversimplification of 40K, getting rid of character, fan favorites like Drago, even maybe
I
Brother Captain
almost feel
Stern.
like I really enjoyed Horus Heresy, like playing it. You know what I mean? The rule set. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think that's. I almost feel like what Horus Heresy should be is like alternate kits for 40K, right? But just a rule book. Like, hey, this is a different way to play 40K. If you want to
Mhm.
play with armor facings and all these different kind of more granular, um, kind of Nat's ass strategy or tactics or whatever, you play Horus Heresy.
Right.
And then if you want to play the faster, more streamlined version, that is like, hey, I just want to knock this out, you play 40K. It
Mhm.
almost should just be like a rule set with some specialized models that you can use in both systems.
Kind of
I
how it
don't
was,
think.
right?
Well, yeah, I don't think it can survive as a separate setting with separate
No.
models that you
We've
can't
been having
use in
this
40K.
argument, like this observation of 30K since it began. Like 10 years ago, we've been talking about this.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
mean, I really enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the models.
Hmm.
Some of the aesthetic appeals to me only because of nostalgia.
Mm.
Like they're obviously, I don't think they're as good as the current era models, but it's like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this or having this way back in the day.
Yep.
yeah, no doubt. I'd like them to focus more on bringing that into 40K, like you said, if they're going to keep doing it and having it be an alternate set of models. With, I mean, that's what we like all liked it for. Like
Right.
we liked farming it for dope alternate models,
Well,
Mhm.
I
and some
like the
people like playing
idea.
it.
I don't know. I like the idea of Horus Heresy seemed way more balanced, at least when I was playing it.
Mhm.
It was like way more balanced because it was like Space Marines versus Space Marines. So at the baseline, all your armies were kind of the same.
Right.
You had your
Well,
Primarchs that
yeah.
could skew things, and you had some traits that could skew things, but most of the time, the rules were kind of the same. So you weren't winning on gotchas or stratagems or whatever because your army had this exploit that they could deploy. Um, on the most part, you were winning because of dice rolls and strategy. That's what I really enjoyed out of Horus Heresy.
It's tight.
So I don't know. It's
What else? Do we have any more previews, or we're getting
No,
over?
that was
We're
pretty
getting
much
over on
everything
time.
yeah, we're good. That's
Okay,
pretty much what they showed.
so let's
Um,
bring it out then on a a word on Drago.
oh man.
pour one out, pour 40 out.
Yeah,
Do some warp dust.
Yeah. I
Mike, talk.
wish
Yeah, talk about it. Just give me like a few minutes on it.
Yeah, I wish I had my fire from the beginning of the show, but I kind of don't. Like it just left me because, and I got to say this, I just don't care anymore. Like,
That's what you said in the pregame. Is like you don't even care anymore.
yeah, it entered the realm of Star Wars and to an extent Marvel. right? It's like this is shit I was passionate. I loved Marvel since like in 7th grade or whatever. I got to see the Infinity Saga, but by the time Endgame came around, I was like, this isn't the Marvel I was promised or fell in love with.
Mm.
Like you guys are changing things, which is fine. IPs have to evolve or they die. But kind of what I was like alluding to and circling around is this question that I've like been playing around in my head, and it's some variation of this: is how many times does somebody have to tell you something that hurts you or is against your interest before you stop listening to them? And I think in our era, I think that is literally the central question of our time. And I think it's the answer is a whole hell of a lot for a lot of people. They'll never stop listening to somebody who tells them something that is actually detrimental to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just like they keep saying this game is not for you. They're not saying that in words, but they're saying it in action, right? And I really do think at this point, if they got rid of Grey Knights as an army, I wouldn't be. I shouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised, but I shouldn't be, because do the changes that a friend of ours, in a very like a friend of ours kind of way, um, sent me kind of the leaked rules, right? The leaked points. It wasn't the whole rules. And a part of me looked at it and went, man, after what they pulled with that Dread Knight, this guy's pulling my leg. Like there's another page that he's not showing me that has that
Mm-hmm.
has more stuff on it, right? And it's like, well, no, that's the deal. Like, why shouldn't I believe they have been saying through action, this game is not for you? For at least 2 years now, they've been saying that. And it's like, I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to believe them, one, and then I
Mm-hmm.
need to stop listening to them. And they got rid of Brother Captain Stern and Drago. And it's like,
Yeah.
Stern doesn't. We were joking in the pre-show that I used to own so many Brother Captain Stern models because I just had them, right? And
Yeah.
these are like the old pewter Brother Captain Stern that was very kind of static. I had chopped off his arm to like use JB weld and put a side cannon arm on there back when you could order just bits to make him a different a different character, a different Brother Captain using his model. That's how many of those I had that I thought nothing of like sawing off this solid pewter model.
Yeah.
And it's like and yeah, his lore was never uber great. I did like back in the day when he could give you a free reroll, but your opponent also got a reroll because
Yep.
he was like being monitored by this demon of Zinch. And so that was like his nemesis. It was in his lore that he's like, oh, you get a free reroll, but every time you use that, your opponent gets a reroll. So it balanced it out, but it was very flavorful. Um, and Drago, I'm like, you guys have built up Drago so much that he's kind of the poster boy for the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
And then now
For a lot of things.
you're just not going to put him in the decks. I feel like this decks, you don't need the decks. I'm going to flat out say that. It's like they didn't need the decks. They could have just updated the index, right? Just change all the points and go, you can't play with
Mm-hmm.
Drago and Stern anymore.
Yeah,
I
this
think we only characters we have left, and I might be wrong, is Crow and Valdis. That's it.
Yeah, that's all that's in there.
it speaks to that like taking things away constantly, right? Like,
People don't
and,
like that.
and there's nothing wrong with like you said, like the game's not like it's not for me. They're telling me, and that doesn't
Right.
mean like don't misinterpret that information if you listen to this as like negative. It just means like okay, I'm allowed to not like things, and they're deliberately making this not for me to like. So I should stop putting so much emotional investment in
Exactly.
into something that like it's okay if I don't like things. And I used to feel like it wasn't okay if I didn't like 40K. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how they had positioned me. That's how
Mhm.
much identity I put into it, how much effort. That's how much like sunk costs I had into it, right? Like, but now I'm like, okay, I'm allowed to not like it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and
like a bunch of other IPs and
yeah,
franchises
like you
have
said,
been doing
Marvel
that
and
for
Star
years.
Wars are great examples of like,
Yeah.
I,
They
you
keep
know,
telling me, I'm like complaining about Star Wars, and then they just go, well, it's not made for you. And
they're
I
like,
go,
oh wait,
I believe you.
I believe
I finally believe you.
Marvel's a great example. Like, I felt like I wasn't allowed to say out loud that I didn't like Marvel movies anymore or comic book movies anymore.
Hmm.
Cause like that was my shit, right? Like I'm like, no, I'm allowed to not like them. It's okay. Like
Yeah, it's fine.
doesn't
And it's like I have Necrons.
yeah,
I have
like
Necrons. So
eh,
it's like, okay,
yeah, and like you're not the
I'll just
first
play
person to say
Necrons.
something similar to me like on this like subject in the last week. Like, you know, I've had actually more extreme reactions. I mean, I have a good dear friend of mine who was like, I'm out.
Hmm.
Like, I'm going
Yeah.
to another game system.
I am not quite out yet, but I will say that and you know the whole thing about my eBay, by the way, guys, is kind of an inside joke. It's like I do have stuff on eBay, but it's not the bizarre, the bizarre emporium that I make it out to be. But yeah, I am selling off a lot of stuff because like Rob says, vote with your hobby dollars. And when you keep telling me something is not for me through action, if not
Mhm.
words, then my hobby dollars are going to go find another hobby or
Yeah.
another system, right? It's like, am I going to ever stop painting miniatures and playing war games? No, man, it's in my DNA. Like I've been doing that for the majority of my adult life. There's no way I'm going to change, right? But it's like,
True.
will it be 40K Grey Knights?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it's sad for me because I'm like, this has been. I mean, I got into Grey Knights with Demon Hunters third edition, and I didn't even realize I had Grey Knights before that. I had Grey Knights in like from since '98
From that
in
Space Hulk.
Space Hulk.
Yeah.
But the models look so different. I didn't even realize they were Grey Knights until I went back to Space Hulk and was pulling out all my old stuff. And I'm like, bro, these like psychic guys, they're Grey Knights. Holy cow. And I used all those to make more Drax Ghost
More,
Knights.
yeah,
Yeah, that
more
was your
that. Yeah,
shit.
I remember that shit
And
at
then,
Feast of Blades. Oh
yeah,
man.
it was a really cool. Those were all original models that I'd had.
Mm.
And I even think, but I don't know. I said 98. I think it was 92. I think it
Oh
was
yeah, it was definitely early
I think I
'90s.
was still at the academy when I had those guys.
Oh damn.
And it's like, it's so it hits me. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe they're building to a big thing. I was gonna buy the Codex. I was gonna buy the Crusade book. I still probably will buy the Crusade
There's
book,
like a
to be
meme
very
though,
honest.
right? Where my toxic trait is like it's like boyfriend girlfriend. It's like my toxic trait is acting outraged when you act like a spoiled little princess. When like I know I've spoiled you and made you a little princess. And so I feel that way sometimes in my relationship to GW and like the FOMO that I have and the needs and the wants that I have for like instantly like satiating myself with access to the hype. I'm like, but you built that hype in me.
Hmm.
You spoiled me this way. You pandered to me this way. You instilled this desire in me. So like you can't act surprised when like when I'm fucking had enough, man. You know what I mean?
I
Like
just yeah, I
because
just feel
it's
like
rational to say they may come out with Drago later in another box set, right?
yes, I hope they do.
But my reaction to this right now, that's UGW. You made me this way.
You made me
You
this
made me this
way.
way. You
Yeah,
made me expect this shit.
I'm kind of like you gave me a new quote unquote new army that I have models in my army that date back to third edition
Hmm.
that I don't need to purchase any new models and still be able to play the game.
Yeah.
You did that. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I had $1,000 set aside to buy an entire new army. That went to another hobby. All that money went to another hobby because I went, well, this is what you're turning in. There's no new models. There's one new weapon sprue. Um, I have this money saved. I was saving up to spend it on you. And then you told me this game's not for you. And I went, okay, read you 5x5. I'm out.
Yes.
And somebody else got that money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is a bad way to do business. And I get it that they can't upgrade entire new lines of every army or whatever. I get
But at
that.
least don't do them dirty.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And the way to do it is just to be like, don't put out a new combat patrol, right? Of all old models, including stuff that's already gone to Legends. Like literally that combat patrol is like, just buy the Legends box set because 6 months from now it's all going to be Legends. Like it's just stupid, right? Don't do that. What you do is you release a sneak peek, a good sneak peek of, hey, Grey Knight players, we know you guys have been languishing in the back and everything, but this is what's coming, right? And then you drop the sickest Grey Knight Terminator model we have ever seen. And we can't buy it yet, but we know it's coming, right?
Back in
Get
it.
on the hype train.
Right back in it.
And I'm back in it.
Yeah, back in it.
I'd be like, and a good example of what I'm talking about is, and this is completely not related to 40K, is Mass Effect, right? And you guys have heard me rant about Mass Effect and how I adore it. And part of my branding is like the whole N7 thing. They really screwed the pooch on the last 5 minutes of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Like they
Mass Effect 3.
literally
Mass Effect
they
2.
killed their IP. There were comic books, there were spin-off novels, there was like talk of an anime, there was all kinds of stuff. The last 5 minutes undid all that. Everything got canceled, everything died, right? As the interest in the entire IP died. They put out a Mass Effect 4 game, which I played approximately 45 minutes of, and then just went, yeah, I can't be in it. Then after that, right, this years later, they release a trailer. And it's a trailer for a sequel, a direct sequel to Mass Effect 3. And they showed Liara T'Soni, which is a very central character. And I was back in it. Immediately. I was back in. I was like, oh, if you release this game right now, I'm back in. I'm in, right?
Sure.
And it's just like, that's what I feel like they need to do. But you just basically told me all the stuff that I'm going to buy and own, I won't get. I literally bought flyers for my Space Wolf army a year ago. Now, granted, some people might be like, oh, you should have painted those and everything. But I picked them up and went, I want to add some flyers to my Space Wolves. They're Legends now. That a year ago, right? They're still in the shrink wrap because I didn't get to them. Because when I do have time to paint, I was painting other stuff. I had found a good deal, picked up the flyers. They're now Legends. Why would I pick up anything to do with Grey Knights? Like this is their way of killing that army. It's just
sad.
Agree. All right, let's move it toward the outro then, so we can edit this motherfucker. But in the after hours, you could hear some of the stuff that Mike was saying. Because
I was a little drunker then.
There's about 5 minutes.
I've had a rough day, and it was an emotional roller coaster. Like I came within. It was like the Hunger Games, man. People getting laid off, and I came within. Yeah, I came within like hair's breadth of getting laid off. So it was like the dude next. Look at the person left to you. Look at the person right to you. Only one of you is gonna make it. That kind of thing. It was like, so. It wasn't a great day.
Sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you survived.
Yeah.
Do you have an epic quote to take us out on?
You go in the cage. Cage goes in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
The fucking like Jaws or some shit?
It is Jaws.
No.
Damn, that was a good quote. Rob, take us out of here.
So that's it for this one, y'all. Thanks for watching and listening along with us. if you're at work and stuff. So for exclusive content, early access videos, and more, become a veteran of the Long War today.